Trail Rider, safety and survival, know your enemy. Foremost in the mind of the Midnight Trail Rider must be to know his enemy. Firstly, one must be armed with suitable knowledge of the enemy in one's local area. My area happens to be West Berkshire. You need to be able to identify your foe instantly and most importantly in the dark. Due to the nature of it being rarely dark, one needs to apply the S.H.I.T.E identity test evaluation, or S.H.I.T.E for short. If the eye shine of an animal is in excess of 2.5 feet, one can safely assume that it may be a fallow deer. Excuse me. The fallow deer, Dama, is a species of ruminant mammal. It is native to Europe, but it has been introduced all around the world. The male fallow deer is known as a buck, the female as a doe, and the young a fawn. If the eye-shine height is between 1 and 2 foot, it probably indicates the presence of an Asian muntjac deer. Muntjacs, also known as barking deer or rib-faced deer, a small deer native to South and Southeastern Asia. The population of Reeves muntjac deer in the United Kingdom are wild deer, descended from escapees of the Woburn Abbey estate in 1925. Moving on to smaller, but by no means less intimidating encounters, with an eye-shine height of near 1 foot, one can expect this to resolve itself to be a hare. Hare are similar to rabbits, but are generally a little larger and have longer ears and longer legs, more hairy shaped, and they also live solitarily or in pairs, and unlike rabbits, their young are able to fend for themselves shortly after birth, rather than emerging blind and completely helpless, as with young rabbits. The European brown hare can sprint up to 50 miles per hour, and over long distances can dash along at 35 miles per hour. Something to note. Under 1 foot, and your S.H.I.T.E identity is split generally between a rabbit or a badger. Rabbits are small mammals. The European rabbit has been introduced onto nearly every continent except Antarctica. Like deer, male rabbits are called bucks and females does. Rabbits and hares were formerly classified in the order Rodentia, or rodent, and that was until 1912, when they were moved into a whole new order all of their own called Lagomorpha. Rabbits are herbivores, feeding mainly on grass, shoots, carrots, fir. The badger. The plucky badger. Badgers are short-legged omnivores, united by their squat bodies, adapted perfectly for fossorial activities, or in other words, digging. They have black faces with distinctive white markings, grey bodies with light-coloured stripe from head to tail, dark legs with light-coloured underbellies. They grow to around 35 inches in length, including the tail. A male European badger is known as a boar, and a female a sow. A young badger is known as a cub. These early observations are of utmost importance, and will ready you far faster than waiting for your headlight to fully illuminate the scene. Congratulations! You have just gained the vital seconds one needs to preemptively react should the enemy decide to engage. You must know your enemy intimately. How he or she thinks, and more importantly, how he or she is going to react to your presence. In the case of the fallow deer, your quick application of the S.H.I.T.E can save you a nasty spill. Fallow are quite skittish in nature, so do proceed with extreme caution. Fallow may cross the trail from one side to the other, but then hesitate and decide, "No, I'm not too sure. Maybe I like the other side of the trail just a little bit better." and indeed head back across one's path again to the original side. Do not be fooled by the fallow into proceeding too early. A return trip by a fallow deer could cause a collision. The other tactic of this enemy is its ability to confuse you. You may first see one deer, apply S.H.I.T.E, slow to avoid engagement, but be mindful not to proceed until you are sure there are none of its comrades lying in wait. In my own experience, I have once waited as a single fallow deer transformed into well over 80, a veritable wall of leaping fur and wild shining eyes. Moving on to the muntjac deer, proceed with due care. Ideally, S.H.I.T.E will give you time to relax somewhat here. The muntjac is a far calmer foe, much less likely to dart out and engage. If you do come across this enemy midway across your trail, he is more likely to continue calmly on to the other side without any indecisions. The hare is a little like the muntjac, more decisive in his movements, but do proceed with caution. The hare seemed to decide where to go, but then proceed at extreme speed. The rabbit, proceed with extreme caution and be prepared to kill. He is extremely unpredictable, given to wildly throwing himself across one's trail in an attempt to unsettle, unseat and indeed down his foe. A rabbit must never be trusted. Slow to avoid initial contact. If you can, halt all progress and wait for the danger to pass. In the event of being ambushed by a rabbit, stay calm and do not engage heavy braking. Regrettably, at this stage, it's him or you. The plucky badger. Back to the badger. In the case of the badger, proceed with caution. The brave badger does not generally give a shite, as his head and eyes are too low to the ground. But once sighted, he is unlikely to weave across the trail, but more inclined to decide to race you. Proceeding forward at this point will only initiate a lengthy chase. Do not be drawn in by the badger. If you are able to, halt your advance and turn off all lighting. This will provide the plucky badger with an honourable way out, enabling him to slip off into the darkness unseen. On occasion, this can take a while. The badger may be particularly determined. The badger may be particularly determined to stay ahead of you, his enemy, or block your path. Stay calm, stick to the plan, and he should clear the trail eventually. Still with me? Jolly good. So, as we near the end of this official governmental piece, it would be remiss of me to omit what my eyes is the most deadly, dusk and nighttime affair of all. Yes, I do of course refer to the pheasant. Or stupid. Yes. Good luck with this plucky foe, adventurer. Pheasants. Indeed, this deadly adversary adheres to none of the common rules of engagement. He will attack unannounced from all angles, striking body, head and vehicle, causing impact damage and risking loss of vehicular control. Stay alert and be prepared to duck. So, to close this public informational piece, I'd like to wish you all the best of British luck in your nighttime endeavours. Be brave, and most importantly, enjoy and exercise your right to ride. Midnight Trail Rider signing off.